Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Mindy here. I hope you had a phenomenal week and you're off to the start of a great weekend. So today I'm coming to you just a little bit more casual than usual. The hair's not done, just wearing a casual shirt, and it feels kind of good. We're gonna have an easygoing weekend, and so I thought it would be appropriate today. What's interesting though is I am going to be talking about one of the more classy fragrances that I have in my fragrance collection, and that is Spiritueuse Double Vanille. So recently on the Facebook feeds, I've been seeing a fragrance mentioned very frequently. That is a Vanilla Affair by the Dua brand. All of the hype that I've been seeing about this fragrance has really made me curious about it. So I wanted to buy it, dive into it a little bit, understand what it's like, and see if it's a fragrance that I love. So the first thing that came to mind when I started playing with this fragrance was it reminded me a little bit of Spiritueuse Double Vanille. Now, this is not intended to be a dupe or a clone of Spiritueuse Double Vanille. In fact, I think this is an original blend from the Dua brand. It's not one of their inspiration fragrances. They actually have an inspiration fragrance of Spiritueuse Double Vanille, and that is Vanilla Overload, which I have not tried. But the reason I wanted to talk about this one was to share some similarities that I find between the two and pass along my thoughts to you. Now, in the past, I have tried other dupes, clones of Spiritueuse Double Vanille. One, for example, is Vanilla Doree by Alexandria Fragrances. And while I do really like the Alexandria Fragrances brand, I think they come up with great fragrances. This one did miss the mark for me in terms of duping Spiritueuse Double Vanille. To my nose, this doesn't come close to the elegance, the sophistication, the class that I get from Spiritueuse Double Vanille. It's a little bit more tobacco heavy, a little bit less of that booziness that I truly enjoy in this fragrance. And so once I played around with this one and realized it just wasn't going to work for me, I did buy a full bottle of the actual Spiritueuse Double Vanille brand by Guerlain. So one thing to note is I've been hearing a lot of buzz on the forums that this fragrance is not available for a while, which kind of makes sense to me. It took quite a while for this to ship to me when I did order it, and I was concerned that possibly they were pulling it from the market or something. Some of the rumors and speculation that I've seen is that this is not going to be available until September. There's possibly some rebranding going on. They may be changing the bottle. They may be raising the price. And I've heard suggestions that the formula may be a little bit different. So I cannot, of course, confirm or deny if that's the case. It just seems like speculation and rumors. But it did make me wonder, if that's the case, then what alternatives do we have for Spiritueuse Double Vanille? Now, I mentioned, of course, that the Dua brand does have a true dupe intended to be a clone for this fragrance, and that is Vanilla Overload. But I wanted to share how this new vanilla fragrance that I've been having a ton of fun playing with, compares to the Guerlain fragrance. One thing to mention is I have already worn this 4 times this week, and that is unheard of for me and probably for other fragrance enthusiasts who are always trying different things, playing with different fragrances. I did really want to gain an understanding of this fragrance and familiarize myself with it. I've also done multiple side-by-side comparisons between the two. So if that interests you, please stay tuned and I will share my thoughts on these two fragrances. So right off the bat, what I immediately noticed with a Vanilla Affair is that it is very much along the lines of Spiritueuse Double Vanille in the sense that it is a warm, delicious, cozy, comforting, boozy vanilla fragrance that I really do like. I put this on my skin and it immediately took me to Spiritueuse Double Vanille and made me think about some of those things that I truly appreciate and adore in this fragrance. Now, they did have some noticeable differences at first spritz, and that is that a Vanilla Affair is very vanillic heavy. In this fragrance is vanilla bean, vanilla pod, vanilla liquor, vanilla rum, and Madagascar vanilla. So you very much get a large dose of vanilla with this fragrance, and there's bergamot at the top as well. And so I get just the slightest bit of not airiness, and it's not a bright fragrance by any means. It's very vanilla heavy, but it has a little bit more lightness and a little bit less depth than Spiritueuse Double Vanille has when you initially spray it and acclimate to the fragrance. Another thing that I noticed very on in spraying a Vanilla Affair, comparing it to Spiritueuse Double Vanille, is that this one does lack a little bit of the depth, a little bit of the sophistication, and a little bit of the smokiness that you get in Spiritueuse Double Vanille. This fragrance does have incense, and I feel like that takes it a little bit deeper than this fragrance takes you. To me, Spiritueuse Double Vanille really exudes sophistication, class, elegance, and luxury. It's a Guerlain brand, and that seems to be something that some of the clone houses have had a hard time pinning down. For example, the Alexandria Fragrance that I spoke about earlier today just didn't work out for me. Again, I don't know about the Vanilla Overload dupe by the Dua brand. I'm not sure how that fragrance is, but I really was pleased to see a little bit of that shine through in a Vanilla Affair. I find a Vanilla Affair to be a gorgeous, beautiful, classy, elegant vanilla fragrance, and it's a standalone fragrance. If you didn't want to pay the money for Spiritueuse Double Vanille, or if you didn't want to wait for Spiritueuse Double Vanille to be available again, if it's really kind of on hold, I think this is an excellent alternative. I wouldn't say that this is exactly affordable, but what's nice about the Dua brand is they do have 30% off discounts from time to time, and this absolutely meets my needs for something along these lines in a more affordable way than some of the other alternatives that I've looked at. If you're looking for a cost-effective alternative in the near term to kind of satisfy your need for Spiritueuse Double Vanille, while I don't think their clones or dupes are exactly the same, there are some slight differences. They do dry down fairly closely to one another. I'm curious from you guys, have you been able to find a dupe or a clone that you truly enjoy of Spiritueuse Double Vanille? Have you tried a Vanilla Affair yet? What has your experience been? Have you tried the true Dua brand clone of Spiritueuse Double Vanille? This is a scent profile that I adore. I have wanted to find a cost-effective alternative that I could spray a little bit more freely. I try to hold this and save it for special occasions or when I'm really craving that scent profile, because each spray costs a lot of money. Yeah, that being said, both of these are fantastic fragrances. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below if you've tried either one of these and what your experience has been. Alright guys, thank you so much for tuning in. As always, I did do the randomized drawing for the contest I had earlier this week. The winner for the Utopia Vanilla Coco is Baylee Cohan, and I've reached out to you directly. And then also Evelyne Nware for the Brazilian Crush fragrance of your choice. So please reach out to me through email and I will get those out to you ASAP, probably early next week. For the rest of you, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you as always. I hope you have a lot to be grateful and thankful for. And until next time, I'll see you soon.